is up, everybody? Welcome back to Steel City Live here on Mike Drop Sports. Appreciate you for all coming through. Make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the live chat. We truly appreciate that. Starting a couple minutes earlier, but that's okay. We will get moving here. As we dive in, we'll talk about yesterday's matchup. We'll do all that good stuff, and we'll dive in with all of your comments and questions and concerns here. Let me move some stuff around. But anyway, we will dive in with all of those things and get moving here, man. We'll give a few minutes while people start to filter in. But again, we appreciate everybody for joining us as always. It's always a good time as the Pittsburgh Steelers win yesterday in a game that we went over, and I could have swore, it was week one. I didn't know that it was, week 15. And Steeler fans like to overreact, and I'm one of them. I'm not saying I'm not. But Pittsburgh Steeler fans like to overreact and like to overreact every week. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying this though. I'm saying that it does show that the passion that the fan base has for its football in the city of Pittsburgh. It's definitely something that doesn't happen all over the place, and definitely something unique and special to the city of Pittsburgh for sure. And definitely it can cause some issues at times, and it's a good thing at times because of the passion, because of the love for the game, the love of the team. However, some fans just go overboard sometimes a little bit, and uh, we're talking about week one. We're talking about a football team that played, really, the starters played one drive, if that. Some of them didn't even do that together. And we expect it to be a perfect product. It's not going to be quite perfect. And to get a road win like they did yesterday in New Jersey against the Jets uh, does impress me a little bit now that I saw the Jets. I saw that they're not the same Jets as they once were. Are they going to be a Super Bowl team? No. But the Jets under Justin Fields, maybe they have a chance to do something. Maybe they have a chance to sneak into the playoffs as a wild card or something of that nature. I'm not saying they're going to win a playoff game or anything like that, or even they are going to make the playoffs for sure. I'm just saying they have a chance to be okay. And I think that they're going to be competitive. They have Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields, the pass rush that they had yesterday, and some of the players that they have on the defensive side of the football are exceptional players. You have Sauce, you have some great players over there that have tremendous potential. So what the Steelers were able to do wasn't so bad. They were able to go in and grab a road win. And to win on the road in the National Football League is extremely difficult. And we have to be honest about that. Does that excuse the Steelers from having some of the issues that they had yesterday? No, absolutely not. You can't get gashed up by the run and give up 180 some yards on the ground. You can't do those things. You can't rush for the minimal yardage that they did yesterday. You can't, if you're Broderick Jones, give up some of the pressures and sacks that you did. And we're going to talk about Broderick Jones, and I'm going to give you my insight on him. Is it time to hit the panic button? We'll see. But we'll talk about that throughout the show. But again, make sure you're putting your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the chat. We'll talk about that 4 touchdown performance from Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk about Chris Boswell and his current contract and his just man, lights out, as Mike Tomlin called him, a serial killer. And I think that's very fitting. If Mike Tomlin is good for one thing, it's coming up for some slam dunk good sayings. He really does. Mike knows how to speak, man. Mike has a good vocabulary. Mike definitely can play the crowd, no doubt about it. Let's get to some of your chats here real quick. What is up, JD in the house? He says, hey, Jason Armin in the house. He says, good night from Germany. What is up, Armin? Extra Black in the house. What's up, Steelers Nation? Extra Black says, you think the Steelers should sign a safety? I think we're going to find out tomorrow what what the significance truly is of Deshaun Elliott and his injury, and I think that's going to be your path forward. One thing the Steelers do have the ability of doing is maybe possibly bringing a guy like a Beanie Bishop up from the practice squad, allowing Jalen Ramsey to still be that floater all over the place. You still have Eccles who can play inside and out. And remember when he was brought in this offseason, I really emphasized that about Eccles, a guy that can play inside and out, a guy that can play corner, that can play the slot, that can do multiple things. So when I look at the Steelers secondary right now, I think they'll be okay. But yeah, extra black, you're probably right. If Deshaun Elliott is going to be out, they're gonna have to try to figure out where to bring in another player, where to bump up people maybe from the practice squad, and try to go from there. But depth is key. I always tell you guys that. I think I live and die by that in the National Football League or any football team, really. That is depth. You have to have depth. That's why I totally disagree with youth coaches and things of that nature that let players sit on the bench and never get them any reps or things like that. Because you need as many players on any football team as humanly possible that are ready to come in, that get reps, that have seen game action, that are going to be ready to come in and fill in because injuries are natural thing of a violent sport. And the Steelers find themselves in that situation like every other team in the NFL. So it is what it is. But yeah, depending on what Deshaun Elliott's injury truly is, and I want to hear that from Mike Tomlin's mouth tomorrow during Mike Tomlin's weekly press conference for sure. Extra Black says Roman Wilson, the two times that he was out there was not impressive. They screened to his side, and his blocking was terrible. Yeah, he didn't impress me either, Extra Black, but it was minimal reps, no doubt about it. And I think the emergence of Calvin Austin is going to continue to bury down Roman Wilson on the depth chart. Also, the emergence of Ben Skoranek, a guy that I told you guys to look out for yesterday, a guy that I really, really like, a guy that really busts his ass on special teams. He busts his ass in the classroom. He busts his ass everywhere around that building, and it shows, and it's starting to really show for Ben Skoranek. And I think that that's somebody that's going to continue to knock Roman Wilson farther and farther down the depth chart. And Roman Wilson's going to have to do something to increase his stock. He's going to have to start coming out there, and when given an opportunity or being involved in any sort of play, like Extra Black points out, blocking downfield on a screen play, whatever, on a run play, you have to be effective. You have to utilize the skills you've been taught, the skills you've supposedly had when you were drafted. So he's going to have to take advantage of an opportunity and start to work his way up because other guys have done that. You got Calvin Austin, a guy that had 4 catches for almost 80 yards yesterday in a score. You look at Calvin, you could say that's a number 2 type wide receiver. In my opinion, he showed that yesterday. You look at Ben Skoranek, a guy that gets targeted very limited. He's very limited on his targets, but yet he seizes the opportunity. When he's in there on reps and it's a run play or a screen to his side, he's downfield blocking. He's busting his ass on special teams. He's showing his value. Then you look at that tight end room that I think can have a phenomenal year, and I think you started to see the makings of that yesterday. You look at Jonnu Smith, you look at Pat Fryermuth, you look that they've not even used Darnell Washington just yet. So they have many options and a lot of weapons, and I want a lot of people to not overreact to that score yesterday. When you look at all the weaponry that Aaron Rodgers has at his disposal, I would rather the defense stumble because I know they're going to get it together at some point. They're not going to be bad all year long. They're just not. I know that. The defense has too many talented players on it to continually have bad performances. The offense, I was worried about them this offseason because maybe the lack of depth at the wide receiver position and things of that nature. But I told you guys this. I was comfortable going into the season with what they had. I said that many times. And I think that the Steelers definitely have that going right now with the weaponry. I think that definitely the defense is picking up. And I think this team can do some special things. But Roman Wilson, he'll have to bust his ass and work and get back into the good graces of maybe of Mikey T. Mark Malone, my God, man. I mean, my freaking God. I can't believe Tomlin's defense got its anus reamed in a manner that it did by Austin Fields, by a Bustin Fields led, oh, sweet mother of Mary. I think they gave a good excuse yesterday, and I'll buy it. And again, I don't want to overreact to this yet, Mark, and I agree with you. It wasn't a great performance, but they did come up in the moments that they needed to. Let's be honest about that. When it had to be done, they got it done. Let's be honest. So we'll give them that much. But yeah, they can't come out and perform like that. But I'll give them this. Jalen Ramsey or somebody, I can't remember whoever said this, but they said during training camp, they were used to Aaron Rodgers, guy that's not mobile, guy that's not going to run on you. And then they faced a running quarterback in week one, and maybe that stunned them a little bit. So we'll give them that. Hey, it is what it is. But again, I think that there's a lot of defensive talent on this football team, and I can't see that happening week in and week out. But we also have to remember what kind of league we play into. This is a offensive driven league. The rules are tailored to the offense, and it is an extremely difficult task to play defense in this league. It really, really is. They make it as such. Defenders on the corners, defenders on the edges, especially guys that are out there like that on islands by themselves, it's an extremely daunting task to play in the National Football League. It really, really is. You're not allowed to hit people. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. They make it super difficult. So we have to realize that also. So the days of the steel curtain defenses and pitching shutouts week after week and giving up 7 points over 3 games, those days are gone. We have to remember that. And that's why it was so imperative for the Steelers to go out this offseason and ensure that their offense could put up points, because Mike Tomlin's philosophy was always, hey, we'll grind it out, let the defense win ball games. And honestly, you can't win games usually that way anymore. Yeah, you can win some of them that way, but you need to be able to score points, and the defense just needs to be able to come up in the big moments. That's the formula right now in the NFL. Extra Black says Benton is not a nose tackle, neither is Loudermilk. They were overpowered continuously. They were definitely the push off of both lines of scrimmage for the Steelers, offensively and defensively, wasn't there. They did not have that push. They did not have that initial jolt. They weren't the more physical football team in the trenches yesterday, and luckily they were able to overcome that. And why were they able to overcome that? And that was due to the old man, Aaron Rodgers, being able to throw 4 touchdown passes. I know one was a shuffle pass. Nonetheless, it counts. It is what it is, but still was able to find the open guys when given the opportunities out there. Was able to guide this football team into position late in the game. And I know it was a difficult shot for Chris Boswell, but Aaron Rodgers, he was the difference maker. He was the X factor for the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday. He was the X factor offensively, and the X factor defensively was Jalen Ramsey, a guy that really impressed me. And man, to have him on your football team is definitely really, really cool. Let's keep going. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff for me. I truly appreciate it. Mark Malone says, think of all that cash the Rooney's lavished upon Tomlin's D. Yeah, I'm not writing them off yet, Mark. I get the frustrations. I'm frustrated too. I do, and I agree with you a lot. I know you know football, but I'm not going to overreact just yet. I'm not. I understand that the last time we saw them, they got gashed too. They did. And I'm not making an excuse for it. Um, I will say they shouldn't have changed their Lamar Jackson game plan. And I think they did it again yesterday on that one play where Justin Fields ran to the outside, got the touchdown down there really close to the goal line. That play there was a prime example for common fans to see how you should play mobile quarterbacks. You got to be able to have got dedicated guys to crash onto the quarterback, and you have to have dedicated guys that crash down onto the running back. And that does what? Leaves your guys in the pass defense a little bit susceptible, because you're utilizing players that are going to be managing that run game, that are going to be dedicated to stopping the run. And that includes the quarterback and not allowing them to get to the edge, not allowing them to get to that second level. And you saw that yesterday. TJ Watt was biting down on the running back, as was everybody else, but allowed Justin Fields to run free. And they should just play that very simply. Whoever side the ball is going to, Alex Highsmith or TJ Watt, they take the ball carrier, and the other on the opposite side is going to go after the quarterback, and they are going to try to crash down on them. I think the formula is very simple. It's just executing it in the heat of the battle, in my opinion. And I know that sounds very elementary, but you have to do that, in my opinion. But you have to be able to have your back end of your defense also be able to hold up against the pass and things of that nature. Let's keep going. Mark Collins, I believe they should trade Wilson and go get a left tackle. Broderick Jones is horrible. Connor Hayward is useless as far as I can see. Stupid penalties. Yeah, Connor, I don't know why he's on his football team. I've said that over and over. I have no clue. He's dumb as shit. I agree, Mark. Broderick Jones. I don't, guys. Broderick Jones played him week one. That's it so far, and I know it was a hellacious game, a bad game, a horrible game for Broderick Jones. I understand that. But I can't write a guy off after one game. I can't. Not the first start at left tackle. I just can't. I'm not saying they were all world pass rushers, but they have good defensive linemen and they had a good pass rusher. So I'm gonna have to chalk some of that up to that. I'm going to have to chalk up some of it to week one. I'm going to have to chalk some of it up to maybe a little bit of jitters. But I got to be real honest about Broderick Jones, as I've been for a long time. And if you can go back through all the shows that I've ever done, Broderick Jones won his rookie year off of brute strength. That's how he won reps. That's how he won your hearts. That's how he succeeded in his rookie year. The technique wasn't there. The technique wasn't there last year. I know there was an injury. There was a lot there last year with Broderick. Maybe playing out of position, whatever. I don't buy that shit either. Right tackle, left tackle, I don't buy any of it. So I know it can be an excuse. It is what it is. But this year, the technique still looks like it's not there. And that's where I'm troubled because I saw the work that he was putting in this offseason. Losing some weight, getting that athleticism back up, getting moving here a little bit. And it looked like he was out there working every single day. But the technique still isn't there, man. And it puzzles me as to why it's still not there. Mark Collins, hey, Jason, it's been a while, health issues, but I'm here. I haven't been on too much either, Mark. I hope you're doing well now. I hope whatever is ailing you, definitely you got that under control, man. Good to see you. Mark Malone, oh, he's talking. Mark Malone. Kenny G got it done on teams. Yeah, man. Kenneth Gainwell did okay. I thought the kickoff coverage, the kickoff team, that has to be better. That wasn't good. For the most part, though. They did have the fumble. But yeah, for the most part, not good. They were giving up a lot of yards there. But it is what it is. In the end of the day, at the end of the day, I think the special teams played really, really well. Doug Craig at Q in the house. What's up, Jason? Just tuning in. So sorry if you covered it. Do you think there's anything they can do to help Broad? Replacement really isn't an option right now. They have Calvin Anderson. That could be an option. But you're really right, Doug. There isn't really replacement isn't an option, and that's why a lot of fans are like, get him out of there. He has to go. And I know the word trade is so sexy and so great to use, and but you have to have a trade partner. You have to have a player that's available for trade, and you can't go out there and just overspend. You've already invested a ton into this offensive line, and you're not going to go out there and give away, several first round picks for an all pro left tackle. You're just not. And guys, I say this all the time on here. Teams don't trade good linemen. They don't grow on trees, dude. They're hard to come by. They don't just trade them off when they get good linemen. And Doug's right. There isn't no options really right now except for allow Broderick Jones to grow and to hope they can fix him. I don't know the answer, guys. I don't think any of us know the answer to fix Broderick Jones. But if I'm the Steelers and it's another subpar season, and you suffered through it again with Broderick Jones, and you don't see the growth. You let him go. But the sad part is you got to dip back in next year. You got to go back and get another tackle. And, the Steelers probably don't want to do that considering it's a quarterback rich draft. But depending on how much faith they have in Willie Howard, maybe they do. Maybe they go after a tackle. I don't know. That's way down the road. But to answer Doug's question, I don't know the answer. I don't think anybody knows that answer. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know enough about the offensive line position in general, the room, in terms of playing offensive linemen to give an accurate assessment of that, in terms of how to fix somebody. We need some linemen to really come on the show and give some valuable assets, guys that have played at a high level. Maybe they would have a better insight. Mark Collins. I believe Cole Holcomb should be on the field. I'm sorry. Patrick is suspect in the running game. He misses a lot of tackles. I disagree. Patrick Queen's better than Cole Holcomb. I thought Patrick Queen played well yesterday. I disagree with that one, Mark. That's just my opinion. Let's move back to Doug. After watching it again, the rest of the line played pretty good, in my opinion. Yeah, I thought Mason McCormick played okay. I thought Zach Frazier played well. Isaac Siamalu played well. Troy Faetanu, there were some issues with him, not a ton, but overall, I would give him a steady performance, especially for this being really his rookie year, if you think about it, considering the injury last year. So, yeah, I was overall happy with the overall performance, but man, the left tackle hole is gaping, gaping. I'm not saying you put a guy in there, off the bench and it's any better because it's probably not. But damn, you can only let it go on for so long, and then maybe Broderick Jones needs a shakeup. Maybe. I'm not sure though. Kodak in the house. Hey Jay, I really appreciate how you guys played us yesterday. Very proud of how Fields looked against the Hall of Fame defense. I know it's the first game, but he looked solid, and so did your O line. So did your O line and Aaron. I'll say this. I think Justin Fields was better than I gave him credit for yesterday. Definitely. After rewatching it, also, I thought he made some highly accurate throws. They're late in the game. I would have probably ran it instead of throwing it to Garrett Wilson. I think that was a mistake that he made, and he got Garrett Wilson destroyed by Jalen Ramsey. If he runs it there, he probably gains 5 or 6 yards, and they have another couple plays. But it is what it is. It worked out in the Steelers' favor. But the Jets are definitely a better football team than I thought. They weren't the same Jets from last year. They look to have structure. They look to be definitely a little bit more fundamentally sound than they were a year ago. Let's keep going. Extra black. All it's going to take is one more missed block from Broderick, and we will soon see Mason Rudolph. That's the bad part. Yes, extra black's right. Broderick could be very, his miscues could be very costly because we have to be honest with ourselves. Aaron Rodgers is no spring chicken, my friends. You all know that. I know that. The Steelers know that. And they're not going to want Aaron Rodgers to be on his back 4 times a game. Not counting pressures and hits of that nature. I'm just talking sacks, and Broderick Jones giving up 2 of those. It's just not good enough, man. And Broderick Jones could single-handedly sabotage this season. He really, really could. But that's just going to show you how important the left tackle position is, how important the offensive line is in this league. You even saw last night with the Bills Ravens. The Ravens lost that game. That was so funny. I enjoyed watching that because they dominated for basically the whole damn game and basically gave it away. But yeah, you saw that last night. I didn't think the Bills' or offensive line was playing really well. I felt like they made Josh Allen have to move a ton, and if Josh Allen doesn't have mobility and athleticism, they're screwed. Because they block like shit. I thought the Ravens played good up front, but they had their moments too. So. today's NFL is a little bit different than it was in the past. You know, there's some really, really good guys that rush the passer. Some big athletic guys, man, and playing offensive line in this league is very difficult. AQ, I think TJ needs a little bit more faith in his teammates. He's trying to make the play and losing the edge. Yes, and that's what I was talking about, Doug, about knowing your assignments or really characterizing what they need to do and not playing out of their assignment, really. And I think that they were trying to do exactly what you were saying, and TJ does do that quite a bit, trying to be heroes, for lack of a better word. They're trying to make every play, and you can't do that. And Bill Belichick always said it right: do your job. And that has to be spelled out clear. And every player on that defense has to do their job. And even some of the defensive players in the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room said that yesterday, that they need to be more job. Assignment sound, in terms of each individual player to get that collective back to a working pace, I suppose you could say. Jalen Warren looks so tough. Yeah, I'm not sure why Kenny Gainwell was in there a lot. I thought that was a mistake on the Steelers' part, in my opinion. I thought those, 11 carries or so, he had 19 yards on the ground. They only had 53 total rushing yards yesterday. I did not like that at all. So it was just kind of troubling to me. There are some of the stats, guys, for you if you want to breeze down through some of those. Aaron Rodgers stat line, the running backs, the wide receiver stat lines. Those are up on the screen for you. You guys can go ahead and take a look at that. But Jalen Warren definitely is a tough ball player, man, and definitely I feel like needs to be more a part of this offense. I didn't like the fact that he had such limited touches in this ball game, and not to mention we went over all off season, all last season. And at least here at Mike Drop Sports, we spoke so highly of Jalen Warren and his ability to pass block, his ability to pick up a blitzer, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. He had a touchdown yesterday doing just that out of the backfield as a receiver. And he is one of the best pass blockers at the running back position in the league. Let's be honest. That's true. That's not Jason making it up. That's not Jason being a homer. That's the truth. So I think Jalen Warren deserves some more, definitely some more touches, and deserves them. They just gave the guy an extension. Why not? All right, guys, I'm going to take those stats down, but I wanted to give you guys a look at the stats for the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively in their 34-32 victory over the New Jersey Jets. Mark Collins, I blame a lot of these offensive line problems is all on Meyer, the coach. Yeah, you can blame him, no doubt. He got to shoulder some of the load, definitely. I can't say that he's without blame. Extra black. I'm not sure Jalen is the number one running back. I'm sure that he can. I'll disagree with that one, extra black. I'm sure that he can shoulder that load. He didn't get opportunity yesterday. Whether that was by design by the Pittsburgh Steelers offensively, in terms of their schematics, I don't know. Maybe they saw something we didn't, guys, that the Jets do, that they thought Kenneth Gainwell matched up better with. But in my opinion, I think they learned their lesson. I'm not saying Kenneth Gainwell played bad, because he did not. I would have liked more in the run game from him, but and in the blitz pickup game. But it is what it is. I think Jalen Moore deserved more. Sean in the house. The Steelers defense needs to improve. Stat. I think they will, man. I'm not going to overreact just yet. I think they do, Sean, no doubt about it, but I think they'll get it together. Let me get a drink. Doug's comment AQ's up there. Dan Moore got all that money and got destroyed yesterday. Tackles are so hard to find. Absolutely. They backed the Brinks truck up to that dude's door. And yeah, he played like dog shit. Um, let's keep going. I think a lot of defensive problems are coaching and the fact that they didn't play at all in the preseason. Yeah, they had one drive together, guys. So that's definitely a point that has to be looked at. Let's keep going. Sean says the defense giving up 184 yards rushing to the Jets is very concerning to me. Absolutely, no doubt. And I got to say, some of it has to be schematics, no doubt about it. Some of it's on the players, some of it's on the coaching, some of it's on the schematics. Um, I think there's a magnitude of variables at play here, and I don't think it's an easy fix. But again, I think the Steelers need to get back to playing some of the ways with these mobile quarterbacks as they played Lamar Jackson prior, and the way they attack that and control the run. Yeah, it's going to be difficult with the way they played last night, Sean. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry against the Buffalo Bills. Derrick Henry had a lot of yards, a lot of scores. Just really played really well, and so did Lamar in terms of the run game. Um, yeah, and that opens up a lot in the pass game for Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. So yeah, they got to definitely be able to stop those guys. They were taking a colossal anal reaming. Mark says the shitbird sucks, especially in the fourth quarter. They fall on their face constantly. Guys, I try to. No one wants to believe me. Nobody, and I've said it for years. Lamar Jackson's inching toward 10 years being with the Ravens. Believe it or not, this is like year 8, 7 or 8, and he's never won a championship, and he's never even sniffed it. Let's be honest, they made it to the title game once, and they got beat. I'm talking when you sniff it, you're in the championship, you're in the game, you're in the Super Bowl. And Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, just is not a championship caliber quarterback. He's just not. He's a great regular season quarterback, great athlete. Uh, Seems like a phenomenal dude, but definitely not a Lombardi hoisting quarterback. It's just not what he is. Has there been any new news on Elliott? Not that I heard, and I only trust it out of Mike Tomlin's mouth. I don't listen to all these websites that speculate, and I don't play into that too much. So I'm gonna wait to hear it tomorrow out of Mike Tomlin's mouth at his weekly press conference. AQ Doug says, I'll say this about the D line, though. If the Jets had Rodgers and not Fields, they would have had 5 or 6 sacks. Fields was so elusive. Absolutely. You play a less mobile quarterback than a guy that can run a 4.3, 4.40 like Justin Fields. The Steelers do come away with several sacks and end several of those drives. Absolutely. Um, some of them rushing yards wouldn't be had. It just is what it is. Definitely, Justin Fields deserves some of the credit for that because definitely he took away from the run defense. If you really think about it in terms of the running back, why? Because they have to account for him also, and that was a big tall task for them. If they had Rodgers, we would have lost by 10 or more. I don't think. I think the Steelers would have destroyed them yesterday if they had Rodgers. The mobility of Justin Fields really lifted the Jets big time in more ways than one. Challenger 22, both Clowns and Ravens lost because of an extra point. Thank God for Boz. Yeah, guys, people don't realize how important special teams are until they cost you a game. Look at the Ravens last year, how many games Justin Tucker was unable to get for the Ravens that they lost, and that was big. It definitely hurt the Ravens in a lot of games, and that was a Hall of Fame type kicker. Let's be honest, Chris Boswell is the absolute best kicker in the entire league, and he should be paid as such. Let's go over Chris Boswell's contract here real quick before we move on into the comments any further. Chris Boswell, age 34, enters free agency in 2027. He's been in the league 10 years. Guys, he's ranked 10th out of the 40 NFL kickers that are listed on this sheet here. This is by overthecap.com, I believe, or Sports Track, one of the two. But he deserves paid, man. And if the Steelers are ever going to break the rule of non-negotiations or not negotiating during the season for contracts, it would be with Chris Boswell. He deserves it. And whether he misses 10 field goals this year, I still feel like he deserves it. Why? Because he's been clutch. He has won games for the Pittsburgh Steelers single handedly. Chris Boswell is a force to be reckoned with, and you can't say that often about a kicker. And Chris Boswell's performance week in, week out, year in, year out is something that needs to be rewarded as the highest paid kicker in the National Football League, point blank, period. There is no other answer to that question other than that. He deserves to be that. Even Corliss Waitman yesterday in the punting game, what a breath of fresh air over the last season, last year's season, and the beginning of this year so far. Not to have a turd like Presley Harvin back there punting. Corliss Waitman definitely he held his own. He did really good job yesterday and did a really good job the year prior. But you look at Chris Boswell's contract. You look at I believe he gets about what 9 million or something like that. I can't even see it, but it's not enough. When you're ranked 10th out of the 40 kickers listed, I think it's an issue. Oh man, guys, we are on a roll here today. Who do you give more credit to, Arthur Smith or Aaron Rodgers, to how the offense performed? I don't give more credit to either one. I think football's the ultimate team sport, and that's including coaches. Coaches can fuck this whole thing up too, and I don't give more credit to either one of them. I think it takes a collective effort to be good. Um, I'll applaud Aaron's play. I thought it was an exceptional play for his individual play. But when I give credit for the win and I give credit for, the team's performance and the amount of points that the team put up together, I got to give it to everybody. And I don't give either one more or less because when they lose, I think it falls on both. I think that's just how football works. Armand Perone in the house. Rogers was fun to watch. Jones is sad. He was a bust 18 months ago. I'm sure of it. Boswell, unreal. Benton looked mediocre. Yeah, I agree with all those things. D, what's up? Hey, brother, I hope you're kicking life in the teeth. I'm trying, baby. I'm trying. I'm just here trying to do a damn good show. Good to see you, D. Mark Collins, I believe Pittsburgh Steelers and Bengals finish 1-2 in the division, and the Ravens third, Browns fourth. Whew. Never know, man. Never know. They need to pay Boswell now. He is the best. Absolutely. D says, why is there only 9 likes? Hit that like button for the best sports show on YouTube. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Why is there only 9 likes? That's crazy shit. Hit the like button for your boy, man. I put in some work. Doug says, I didn't think I would care for it, but I'm a big fan of the new kickoff rules. Returns went from about 25% to almost 75% yesterday. Good returners are going to start being extremely valuable. I agree. I think you're right, Doug. I didn't like it really that much at first. It grew on me, though, here over the last couple games that I've seen the Steelers play, including into last season. So, yeah. I'm down for it too. And you're right, returners will become valuable. Sean, man, I got to say that watching TJ absolutely crush Fields was glorious, along with Ramsey crushing Wilson for a game winning hit. Let's effing go. I'm still pumped up. Yeah, I was still pumped up today, man. No doubt about that. I was still fired up. Definitely, man, it was crazy. Kingston Farrell. You see Tyreek? Yeah, he's always spazzing out, man. Tyreek, that's why I'm so glad every time there was a rumor that they said, oh, the Steelers are going to trade for Tyreek Hill. I'm like, first of all, they wouldn't bring somebody in there that's an idiot like him, I don't think. Um, yeah, I would hope not. Tyreek is a chief by week 4. Maybe. I seen him spazzing out, but I think the Dolphins are in trouble, man. I think Tua sucks. I got to be honest, guys. He's injury prone, and that sucks for him. I don't want to see him injured, man. I never want to see anybody hurt, but he's injury prone with the head injuries. He's just not good enough. He's not good enough, in my opinion. And I think the Dolphins are just a franchise that's in constant turmoil. They're one of those franchises, in my opinion. There's a handful of franchises that you can just put in your one count on your one hand that just are terrible consistently. Even when they're good, they'll just trip over their own 2 feet. They'll not be able to make it work. All right, guys, any more comments, questions, and concerns in there for today's live show? We appreciate that very much. Everybody joining us. Again, we're just getting back in the groove here now that the season started tomorrow night. I will try to be on around 8 o'clock to talk some more Steelers football after Mike Tomlin's weekly press conference. So we'll definitely be doing that. But Mondays, I can do 6. Most Fridays, unless I go to the high school game, I can do earlier than yeah. I'll try to maybe do like 5 or something. But weekends I'm gonna be free except for some Sundays and things of that nature when I have youth football. So I'm gonna try to make it as much as humanly possible. But I got to be honest with you guys. Youth football means more to me than YouTube right now and coaching my son, and I'll never get this time back. So I'm not going to waste it. So I'll just have to make both things work as best I can. And one thing I can't do is sacrifice over there. You know what I mean? Because again, I'll never get those days back. So I got to make sure I take advantage of it. Chris Olave took another injury. That sucks for him, man. I hate to see the injuries, man. It definitely is crazy to see how many injuries are in this league. AQ, extremely impressed with Calvin Austin. Got wide open a few times, drew a PI, and should have had a second. Yeah, the second one I thought was absolute PI. That guy was all over him. And I understand late in the game you want to let him play, and I'm all for that. But be consistent in your play or in your penalty calling if you're the refs, in my opinion, because I thought that was worse than the first one. Just my opinion, in a more important, more significant part of the game. Yeah, I didn't like it, but definitely I did like one thing. I thought Calvin Austin proved he's the number 2 wide receiver on this football team for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 catches, 9 yards. I think Sean told me yesterday. I could bring the stats back up, but yeah, 80 yards and a score. But definitely Calvin Austin proved to me yesterday that he can do that number 2 type stuff. Extra Black, in today's NFL, star players know all they have to do is pout loud enough to get traded. Um, the reason I think that happens now is the players really don't have a lot of control on where they go in terms of some of these things, or when they can get out. So they have to throw a fit and cause disruption to get themselves out. And that's basically the only tool that they have at their disposal to get out of a situation that they're not happy with. And I understand sometimes, you're in a bad situation, but yeah, the business side of football sucks. Let's just be honest with it about it, guys. The business side of football takes away from the game, man. The game that we love. If the business side wasn't involved, man, how much better would football be? Mark Malone, Tomlin calls Boz a serial killer. I say the Boz puts the lotion on its skin. I remember that movie, man. That was a good one. Little Nicky, wasn't it? Oh no, that was shit. Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Sean, I can always join you on the weekends. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. You'll definitely hear from me, my friend. I always like somebody to talk to. The Boss Harbor Butcher for all you Dexter fans. Absolutely, 100% truth. I did it all for 7 years with my son. Yeah, man, definitely just can't waste it. Cannot waste it, Mark. You're right. What did you think about Broderick Jones? I covered it earlier, Delbert. Poor performance. I'm not sure how you fix it, man. I don't think anybody has the answer, and anybody that acts like they do, they just don't know for sure. And if they did know for sure, they should call Mike Tomlin up and get this shit fixed. Armand Perone. Do you do two-a-days with your youth team? It's insane they did that in 1960s. Shit, no. These kids are way too soft for that shit nowadays, Armand. Absolutely not. I never did it in youth football either, though. High school we did during like camp and stuff. Challenger 22, Rogers is such an upgrade at quarterback. Reads a defense and spreads the ball around. Absolutely. We haven't had a real quarterback in so long. Silence of the Lambs. I remember it from Joe Dirt when he would throw lotion in the hole when Joe was down in the hole when he got caught by the serial killer, and he'd be like, put the lotion on the skin and all that shit. And then I remember Little Nicky, where that guy, when he floated up past the window, he was like rubbing all his shit on him. I don't remember Silence of the Lambs. I need to rewatch that movie. It's been a long time. Mark Collins, Rogers gets rid of the football very quickly and doesn't throw interceptions to lose games. Yeah, and what else was really refreshing yesterday, also, guys, was seeing the utilization of the middle of the field, the drag routes, the crossing routes, the seam routes. The middle of the field usage was so welcomed and so wonderful to see. Oh, everybody's saying Silence of the Lambs. I don't. I gotta rewatch that movie. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. That come out when we were a kid, didn't it, Doug? Am I going to any games this year? Maybe. I might try to take my youngest son, but we have football on Sundays, which is so fucking stupid. This state is so fucking dumb, dude. West Virginia is so into the West Virginia Mountaineers that, heaven forbid we play youth football on Saturday. The Mountaineers just lost to fucking Ohio, dude. They lost to a MAC school. But yet we're gonna waste NFL Sundays playing youth football. Let's play youth football on Saturday. High school on Fridays, youth football on Saturdays, pros on Sundays. WV sucks ass. I don't get it. I'm gonna try though when football's over because our league kind of sucks this year, and we only have like 7 games in terms of the regular season, and one team doesn't want to play us because they're afraid of getting curb stomped. I guess. Um, don't get me started with that. But anyway, then we'll have the playoffs. So I should be done with that. A month and a half, or about a month and a half. Once we win that ship. Extra black. There's no way the Steelers back in the days would have ever won 4 Super Bowls with the way free agency is today. Absolutely not. You're right, extra black. 1,000%. Oh, excuse me, guys. Boz is Buffalo Bill. uh, Buffalo Bill House from the movie was filmed around Periopolis. Yeah, Doug, that was. Yeah, I thought it was in Vanderbilt. It actually caught on fire years ago when I was a fireman with South Connellsville Fire Department years and years ago. I remember it catching on fire. Yeah, you're right. Leighton. Yeah. Don't F with the boss. The boss. We always sing when Boswell comes up. We always, me and the kids are always like, "Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane." I love it. I don't know why. It's just catchy. We love the balls, man. My kids just ordered some throwback jerseys and shit, man. I'll have to. I think we got Jalen Ramsey. Um, we got a Jalen Ramsey home, and shit, my youngest kid got something. I'll have to ask him what it is. We play on Saturday in Ohio. My grandson plays sixth grade ball. He's a starting center. He defensive end as well. Granddaughters are. Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations to your grandkids, man. I hope they tell them good luck from us. Yeah, I wish we played on Saturdays. It's fucking such a waste of time to play on Sunday. Bad flagging on Watt and Alex Smith. I don't know. I feel like they didn't get any calls. I feel like TJ Watt is held more than anybody I've ever seen play football. After watching Sunday, I'm a firm believer in TJ Watt is held more than anybody I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely, Doug. Backyard Brawl Saturday. Let's go, Pitt. Let's go, Pitt. Let's go, Pitt. Doug's brother used to play for Pitt, man. When we were kids, he played for them. So, yeah. But anyway, let's go pit. Backyard brawl. Let's go. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up, man. I appreciate everybody joining in. We will be back tomorrow around 8 o'clock, hopefully. I'm going to try. It just depends on when I can get out of practice. That's the whole thing. So, yeah, we're going to try to get out and get shit going here, man. But thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. We truly appreciate that. And we'll be back again, my friend. My friends. We'll be back again tomorrow, so enjoy. And until next time, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace.
Power takes an approach as a coach.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's a field back block, and that's